All right, we're live.
All right, welcome everybody. New format here this week, going draft preview live on Zoom. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to solve a lot of issues and we're not going to have the same issues that we had in the past. And just appreciate you all working through the issues.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with technical difficulties, my end, your end, both our ends at the same time. This should solve a lot of those.
Awesome. Well, this week we got, of course, my lovely wife, Susie, and Fighting Geese. She was 2 years ago champion, so not far removed from being the best in the league. And I'm excited to see what her season brings.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I usually root for her. Last year, I'm pretty sure I was rooting for her in both formats, in LOC and Dynasty to win. So yeah, I'm always excited. I mean, she does play in the international division, so I think that gives her a leg up. Well, in the past, it gave her a leg up. Now I think it's at least getting better overall, but in the past, it definitely helped her out.
Yeah, for sure. She's owned that international division since it started.
Yep. Yeah, and speaking about owning, I mean, she's first all time in the career. She's 60 wins and 33 losses. She's made the playoffs, I believe, 6 times. I mean, she is 4-4, but she's been in the playoffs 6 times. She does have, as you said, that LOC championship 2 years ago, 2019. Surprisingly, she hasn't won the division though, which I was actually surprised to see.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's, like you say, first all time in wins with 60, but only one trophy, and that's the LOC championship. No regular season champion, no points champion, no division title, which is crazy when you consider all time in wins. Third all time in win percentage. Susie is always near the playoffs or in the playoffs. She's always a threat every year, it seems.
For sure. Yeah, as you said, best finish is 2019 champion.
Yep. Last year, 15th though.
Yeah, 2019. So yeah, I mean, looking at her schedule, I mean, she is 5-2 against me. She plays me week 5. I think in the past, I know she was, easily beating me. And even recently, I'm pretty sure we split 2 years ago when she won. And then last year, I'm pretty sure she went 2-0 against me. I mean, she's always a hard opponent to play against. Every time I see her on my schedule, I'm like, oh shit, I'm playing Susie. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a great competitor in LOC.
Yeah, I think so. A couple of matchups I see there too. My brother, it'll be the 10th time they played. They used to be in the same division, the West Division. And yeah, she's owned you, and she's owned the international division. You can see a winning record against Swahino, winning record against Too Good for a Name, winning record against Subotica Spartans. And of course, Ultimus Prime's new to the league. So she's owned the division, and she's going to need those wins this year.
Yeah. And she's 4-0 against Storm, which I was actually surprised too. Now switching over to her keepers. It's very wide receiver heavy. She has Landry, Boyd, Parker, Jones, Jefferson, which I think Justin Jefferson trade, I think was actually a pretty good trade for her. Marvin Jones, I know we were talking about it before. I know you had a conversation with the architect. It's a good trade if she believes Jones is going to be either the wide receiver 1 or 2 in Jacksonville. You had LaVisca over there, who I think is going to be the number 1 with Lawrence. Jones might take number 2, and Shark might take 3. But I mean, I think they're going to be interchangeable over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the strategy there is if you look at all 5 wide receivers on any given week, those guys could produce. And if you think about Susie's keepers right now, like Tyler Boyd and Devontae Parker are very iffy, if you ask me. And to only pay a 13th for Marvin Jones, who did put up 223 points last year, I think that's a bargain. And adding Justin Jefferson is going to be a game changer and finally gives her a solid keeper. But she needs to make a change at keeper eventually, and let's see how she can do that looking at the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that knowing what's out there and even knowing what I'm putting out there, that's available for trade, I think she might have had a trade, maybe a 5th or a 7th, but I think she could have definitely got a better wide receiver, or even she trades a 5th and 7th now, because once we get to her pick, she has pretty good picks. She has 6th overall. I believe she has 2 second rounders. So she has the capital to make some moves as well. So maybe she should look into improving those keepers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. There's the picks, right? 2 seconds, 2/3. And think about it. If she has 5 wide receivers, okay, well, we all know we need 3 running backs. We need 2 tight ends, and we
Yep.
need 3 RWTs. She already has 2 of the RWTs. She doesn't have to focus on wide receiver. So with 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, she can go all running back, all tight end, or even just go for the best quarterback in the draft. So I think for Susie, she doesn't have to worry about wide receiver anymore. And I think that's the purpose of the trade. And to only give up a 13th, those other guys you're talking about, she can pick those guys in round 5 or 6 if she wants, or even early on in the draft.
Yeah, those are valid points. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what she wants to do. Does she want to make some trades here to get players that she definitely is going to use, or that might not fall to her at 29th or 35th? So I mean, it's all what you want to do, what you think is going to happen in the draft.
I still think it's scary though, having no running back at keeper though.
I agree 100%. At least keep one running back.
You need one.
Yep. Moving on to rounds 11 through 20, she has no pick in the 13th round. She has 2 in the 16th. She picks one time in every other round, so she's making up for that 13th pick. And she unfortunately has 3 picks in the 29th round though. So I think she should look into trading Logan Thomas, who we talked about as well. Trying to make some trades, get some earlier picks and out of these back 9 rounds.
I was talking about it with her earlier today though, and I was thinking about it, and I have like really AB and Robbie left as keepers, and she could interchange Logan Thomas. But the thing is, what if injuries happen in the offseason? So I talked with her and I said, you know what, we should keep those guys for now and wait till training camp, make sure we don't get any injuries. Because if you trade all your guys away and then one of your keepers has an injury, guess what? You're screwed.
Yeah, but I mean, you're correct there. However, I mean, you're picking week 1 of the preseason though. So the problem is it can also bite you in the ass where the guys you're waiting to trade get injured and you can't trade them. So I mean, it can also bite you in the ass that way as well.
Good point.
And that's the end for Susie. Let's go ahead and switch over to Dynasty. Any last thoughts while we get that up?
I'm excited for Susie to have the picks, and she's always a threat, and I think she's going to be a serious threat in the international. When I look at the other teams, like I say, though, Dusan and Eric, those guys are good every year, it seems, but I'm excited for her.
Yeah, and I always end up picking her to win. These come out of the division usually, so she always has my pick. Now switching over to Philly Miracle Men, and I'm going to take an outside approach because obviously this is my team in Dynasty. I know we talked about in the past. I know you said, this team sucks. There's nobody on it, and then you did a mock draft, and I think you actually changed your opinion on the approach of this team. So let's jump right into it. Last year I went 5-8, finished 11th. The year before I finished 2nd. We won't talk about how you changed the rules and I didn't get all the money. But we'll go past that. I mean, I did finish, and I finished 2nd in the division. Year 1 I went 7-6. Our division, honestly, I believe is one of the hardest divisions in Dynasty. I mean, last 2 years, in the 2 years of Dynasty, a member of our division actually went to the championship game. So I think we are the hardest division so far.
Yeah, and you know what I'm really impressed with in Dynasty, and it's cool that Norm's here and Brandon, because these guys actually made their ways up the tiers, and the guys from tier 2 are the ones winning the league in Dynasty. Yeah. So Stewart's in the division, and he's proven himself in Dynasty for sure.
For sure. Switching over to our keepers, we're picking Big Ben. We're gonna ride him for a year. Hopefully he does something. As we talked about, or at least on the Discord, my running back room sucks. I mean, my best running back is Cohen. I'm hoping Marlon Mack bounces back, but I think my strength and where a lot of trades I was able to make come from my wide receiver room. I got DJ Moore, Corey Davis, Rager. Hopefully he bounces back this year and actually does something. Gallup, Fitzgerald, maybe he comes back, plays for a year. And then you have, Paris Campbell, who got injured, I think, week 2, like in the big first quarter of week 2, who I think is actually going to be a stud over with the Colts, especially playing with Carson Wentz. And then my tight ends, I got Trotman, who I think is actually going to be pretty good. Garwin, I think he's going to bounce back.
I think your team sucks just because you have the worst players at the 2 most important positions in Dynasty, and that's quarterback and running back. Quarterback is the most important position in Dynasty. You got Big Ben and Drew Lock on the roster. You traded Herbert and Hurts to get on, and that's going to be one trade that's probably going to go down in history here for a while of who won that trade. It feels a lot like the real life Ricky Williams trade when they traded every single draft pick they had for Ricky Williams in real life back then. Your trade kind of felt the same. And, rookies don't always pan out, and that's a big risk you took because Herbert and Hurts are locked in on solid roles now, and Keenan Allen's the top wide receiver. I think one position I do like with your team that does have potential is tight end, because I know Dan Arnold could have a starting role as well. So, you do have potential there, and wide receiver is not too bad, but yeah, quarterback and running back, you need to make changes fast.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And then let's go ahead and look at the picks here. What happened with that trade? I got 2nd overall. I have 8th overall. I believe I also got 10th, and I believe the 18th overall in that trade. So I did make those moves. I did get 3 first and an 18th overall, which is basically a first rounder. It's 2 picks after the first round. And my last pick is 24th overall. So I will be picking my kicker and my defense in the beginning of the 2nd round. Unless, obviously other things happen. But I know we both did mock drafts for Dynasty. We both had running back going to me. We both had, a quarterback coming to me later, picking up good wide receivers, to make that room even better, in my opinion. I think my draft that Brandon did for me, I got 2 or 3 running backs, a wide receiver, a quarterback. So yeah, I think I'm in good position this year for definitely to make a turnaround this year.
I think you are not going to make a turnaround this year, and I think you're going to draft a bunch of rookies, and some might be good long term. But I said this last year about Stewart's team. Remember, I said you have too many rookies. So what do I know? But the reality is, I do think you're going to have to draft a quarterback that's going to have to sit for a bit, or a quarterback that's on a shitty team. The wide receiver class, when you look at it, Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be a game changer, but then, Waddle, is he really that good? Devontae Smith, the guy weighs $160. Are these guys going to be that good for you? And we don't know. And we do. Herbert, Hurts, and Allen are good. And I'm excited to see how it all unfolds for you, Sean. Because to have 6 picks in the first round, that's exciting.
It is. It really is. And I'm not gonna lie, I keep bothering the other Sean. I'm like, what if we do this strategy or that strategy? At a certain point, he's just gonna be like, dude, shut up. It's still 2 months from the draft.
Love it.
So yeah, that's ours. That's all we got for today for you guys. I forget who's on the schedule for next week, but
yeah, next week we got in Dynasty Milan and Unnecessary Roughness. We changed the quarterback rule this year. Milan was the one that suffered the most. He started the season undefeated and then essentially lost Dak, lost Burrow, and he was screwed. I think he lost Burrow. Can't remember, but it was for sure. And then we also have Norman Canadian guy. When we talk about tough divisions in the LOC, I think Norman Canadian guy in that red and white, good luck. That's all I can say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just to reiterate what that the quarterback rule is, your quarterback must be on IR for you to pick up another quarterback if he's out or whatever he is doing. Apparently Chris lost Burrow in Dynasty.
Yeah, I thought so. I forgot, Chris.
Yeah, but if your quarterback is not on IR, you cannot pick up another quarterback. So we do have that 2 QB rule in place.
Yeah, which I'm screwed. Thanks to Sean Watson. Next time, just learn to keep your boner in check and not do stupid things. So
For sure.
anyway,
Well,
see
man,
you next week.
see you guys.
Yep.
Bye.